Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my top 10 best, favorite, most loved autumn or fall fragrances, and I do actually have two honourable mentions, so I'm just going to go straight into those. I don't normally do honourable mentions, but I have a reason. First one being Unspoken Musk from Francesca Bianchi. I've used half the sample already. I am absolutely in love with this fragrance. The only reason it's not in the top 10 is because I don't know it well enough and I don't know how it's going to perform in the colder weather, but I do know that I'll be wearing it in the fall a lot because I'm definitely buying it. Yes, I'm buying it next week and I am so excited to have it. The fragrance opens up with a slightly dirty, musky feel. It's got civet in it, but it's not too strong in my opinion. If you know Kiehl's musk, it's about as dirty as that. In actual fact, it's a little similar to Kiehl's musk at the very beginning, but you have an immortelle note in there which makes it almost honey-like, and I get a fruitiness from it at the same time, and lots of lovely musk and iris, giving it a gorgeous powdery feel. And then into the dry down I get a vanilla coming through. As I say, the dirtiness doesn't hang around very long at all, and the immortelle hangs around quite a long time but gently subsides, leaving you with my favourite part, which is the far dry down, which is just pure powdery, slightly vanillic, irisy, clean musk. And I never ever feel like it's boring. I know some people wanted more from it. For me, this is perfection, and I absolutely will be buying it and wearing it in the fall, and of course you'll hear a lot more about it then. Put that in my pocket because I don't want it to roll off the table and smash. That would be awful, because I've got Francesca Bianchi on my channel tomorrow night to talk about Unspoken Musk and everything perfume, so do tune in. It's going to be 9 p.m. UK time, and that's going to be 8 p.m. in sort of European time. CET is called, Central Eastern, I'm not sure what that is. So next honourable mention, and again because I don't know it too well yet because it's brand new to me, and it's Blanche Bette from Liquid Imaginaires. And I only say it's honourable because I don't know if it's necessarily perfect for fall, because I'm not sure what the performance is going to be like in the cooler weather. My sample when I wore it seemed stronger, and I wonder if this just needs a little time to settle from its journey from Italy, and also maybe to macerate. I don't know. So I don't know about the performance at the moment. It certainly was good from the sample, hence it's not a proper entry into the list. But this is a beautiful milky musk with a little hint of a white floral. It's got a whisper of incense, it's got vanilla, but it's not like a cheap vanilla cupcake frosting. It's beautiful, delectable, amazing. Everyone that smells this so far has loved it, my mum and my hairdresser included. Absolutely love this if you love musk. Ambrette, so it's got that musk mallow ambrette in it, which is delectable. Then it's a must try, but is it perfect for autumn? I'm not 100% sure yet. Okay then, top 10 begins. Let's start at number 10, and I've got Panna London's tuberose vanille. Look at that, look at the colour of that. It is quite a strong tuberose. It's the strongest tuberose I've got, because I'm not a tuberose lover. I can find it a little too much, so I tend to like the kind of tuberose fragrances that would be described as tuberose for someone who doesn't like tuberose. This is tuberose for someone who does like tuberose, but it's still not too much. I wouldn't put it in carnal flower territory or fracas, but it's getting there. But I feel like it's tempered by the vanilla and the benzoin in here. There is also some jasmine. I think there might be another floral. So it's quite a heady floral, and especially in the opening, and it takes a little while for the vanilla to come through, but it's not heavy vanilla either. It's a good mixture of both. You've got to love quite a strong floral to love this one, but it's got such good power. It's quite a strong fragrance. It's going to be great for these cooler days and evenings. Perfect date night scent, very flirty, very fun. I wouldn't wear this for a serious work meeting. Has a fruitiness to it. I think there's a peach note in here somewhere. Definitely has a fruity aspect. So number 9, unfortunately it discontinued, but you can sometimes still find it. It was easier to find obviously a little while ago, but I think as stocks start to deplete, I can't even spray it. As stocks start to deplete, things get harder and harder to find. But also you can find, I should tell you what it is. It's Alien Essence Absolute. My gosh, the spray is stuck. Okay, I can't get it to spray. The spray's a bit junked up, I think. I do have a backup of this, which was kindly sent to me by the lovely Peter. Thank you, Peter. And that one is a refillable. This one, the bigger one, is not, so you can't actually get into it. But I'm sure if I soak this in some hot water or something, I'm sure I can fix it. But I can smell it from here. It's quite a strong fragrance. So Alien Essence Absolute. As I say, you can also go for the liqueur and the goutte de parfum. They are very, very similar, and very occasionally you can find them suddenly out of nowhere. They go from being impossible to find to finding themselves on a grey market site. So worth keeping your eyes out for. It's a richer, sweeter version of Alien, less intense with the jasmine, although it's still strong, but it's softened and rounded out by the sweeter notes. It's an incense and vanilla and woodsy type of fragrance. It's very rich, very enveloping, very warming. It really is quite the stunner. It could be a niche perfume. I actually got wafts from the loft to smell it without knowing what it was, and they were really impressed with it. So I highly recommend keeping your eyeballs out for Alien Essence Absolute, or as I say, the liqueur or the goutte de parfum. They are the richer, sweeter versions. Number 8 then. This is Musk Milano's Madeline. So this is a gourmand. So what that means, of course, is a floral gourmand, but this isn't too gourmand. And that's what I like about it. It's not too sweet. There's chestnut, there's cream, there's some tuberose, a hint of a citrus in the opening, but very, very light, and mixed in with the cream and the chestnut note. It is really beautiful. Every time I smell this, I think, why am I not wearing this? Probably because I haven't got a lot, but I am determined to use it up this autumn. There is a cumin note listed. I would say do not worry if you are not a fan of cumin. I'm not. It smells like BO to me most of the time. But when it's in a very small dose, sometimes it adds a facet to the fragrance without making it smell like BO. And I think that's probably what's happening here. I noticed cumin in this one time only, and it was very, very subtle. And since then, I've never really even thought about it or remembered that it's there. I can't smell it right now. There's a sweetness here, so I guess there's probably vanilla, and there's definitely musk, clean musk. It's got a really fluffy feel. So if you imagine the mixture for a Madeline, you know, the cake, but imagine it being fluffed up by a really good cake mixing machine, putting a load of air into it, and then you decide to put some chestnut cream in there as well. Really gorgeous fragrance, highly recommend it. Not too in your face, it's not obnoxious, it's not a loud one. I would say this would be a really great cozy date night scent, and more of an intimate thing. You wouldn't wear it for a big night out, but I'm not going to say what's in my mind because I'm always being cheeky. But great for, you know, a cozy night, just the two of you sitting by the fire, or a meal in a quiet restaurant. Yeah, it's lovely. It's really lovely. Coming in at number 7. And this is great. This will be great for any cold weather. It's Lune from Atelier des Ors. You can see all the gold flakes floating around in there. And this one would be winter and autumn appropriate. It's a vanilla scent, but it's much more than that. It's resinous, it's rich, it's spicy. There's cardamom. The cardamom is so smooth. When you first spray it, it's rich cardamom, really, really smooth, balsamic, just so smooth. I think there might be saffron, I'm not sure, but it feels like there could be the teeniest hint of saffron as well. But as you wear it, the vanilla comes through. I can smell the vanilla now, but it becomes more vanillic and more resinous. The cardamom sort of like gently calms down a little bit. This fragrance got me a compliment from none other than Jeremy Fragrance. It was not the last essence, but the one before that. We spoke at the party very, very briefly at the sort of the finale party, and he gave me sort of like a hug, and he said, "You smell amazing," and he wanted to know what it was, and it was this, and it had been gifted to me that day, or certainly at that event, by the lovely Megan from Atelier. And it is beautiful, and I obviously picked it for that event because it was a special sort of dress up kind of event. Luckily I had an okay-ish dress. It wasn't really a proper like cocktail dress by any means, but I just about got away with it, I think. But Lune, very, very special, very rich, very sweet, very cozy, probably more of a nighttime scent, but on the colder days you totally could wear it. Yeah, it's one for a date night, but not such an intimate thing, because it's such a big strong projector. You can totally control the sprays and not have a big projection. You could just do 1 or 2 sprays. But I would say this is great for a bigger event, like a more crowded, busier, louder type of event, if you want to make a statement. And it's gorgeous, it's absolutely gorgeous. 6 is going to be Ruby Kona from Pure Distance. Very expensive fragrance, and one that I just had to have it. And it's weird because I'd say it's quite heavy on the patchouli, which is not one of my favorite notes, but it is not the opening that I love. So the opening has probably got the most patchouli. That's where the patchouli is really strong. And I have a friend who ended up not keeping Ruby Kona despite really loving it, because she found that patchouli in the opening just a bit much. And I get that, because you have to wait for that patchouli to calm down if you're not a patchouli fan. And so if it's a really expensive fragrance, do you want to do that? However, if you do love patchouli, you're going to love this from the start. So this one has orange blossom, rose, I think there's some jasmine. Definitely very heavy on that patchouli to start with, but it mixes in with the florals, and then it becomes incensey, and there's a gorgeous vanilla. There's an accord in the base here, which I believe is a vanilla, but it's more like an ambery accord, but it is done so beautifully, and it makes it really addictive for me. Once I get past this opening, and the opening is not bad by any means, but I need to give it half an hour or so, half an hour to an hour really, before I fall in love with it. But then it's rich and it's strong and it's long lasting. It really lasts on my skin. And I felt head over heels in love with this the first time I smelled it. Actually not the first time. The first time I found it weird, and I think I just didn't like that opening. It was the second time. I went back to it weeks, if not months later, tried it again, and just the magic happened. It just happened. And then that was like, oh, now I want to buy it, and oh my God, it's so expensive. But I did. I ended up treating myself. And it is an amazing fragrance, but definitely not one to blind buy, not at the price point, and not everyone's going to fall in love with it like I did. But it's Ruby Kona from Pure Distance. Really good, strong one. Number 5 then. This one specifically smells kind of like autumn to me, especially when you first spray it. So what we have here is Tobacco Rose from Papillon. I could have easily gone for Hera, but if I'm honest with you, Hera's, it's year round, and I don't know that autumn is the one I'm going to reach for the absolute most. Because for me it's a very special perfume that's going to be reached for on more special occasions. But Hera could be on this list. but I decided to just do one from Papillon, and I went for Tobacco Rose. And yeah, it smells to me like crunchy autumn leaves without being so dry. Imagine leaves of varying shades of red and brown, and they're just like blowing around. That's how it sort of opens to me. Of course, it's got a really lovely rose, quite a rich and smooth rose. It's not a fresh rose, nothing like the Maison Francisca de Jean's, is it a la rose? Nothing like that whatsoever. It's got a darker, deeper, velvety tone to it. There's hay and beeswax, and this one is quite a savoury perfume to me. It's not as sweet as any of these. All of these are quite sweet. This is the non-sweet. This is the non-sweet contender in the list. Totally unisex. Anyone can wear this. In the dry down, you get a decent amount of oak moss. It goes kind of grassy, rooty, shiny kind of oak moss feel to it. Really complex, changes a lot on the skin, and lasts really well, and very, very strong. So I always control my sprays with this one, although I know Lizzie over at Rose & Jones, who loves this, she actually loves to douse herself in it. So we're all different, and I'm sure she smells amazing. You could definitely smell her coming. But yeah, really, really good one. Different to everything else here because it is not that sweet. And number 4 I have for you, Wish Come True. Got all the reflection. Let's see if we can reflect yourself back. Maybe not. Wish Come True is from Stefan Humbert Lucas. I bought this bottle. I managed to get it on the grey market for a slightly cheaper than retail price. Wish Come True is a floral vanilla incense with, it's not listed, but I get a hint of suede in the dry down, so a slight animalic touch, but not too much. Opens with some citruses. Yes, it opens with a mixture of different citruses. I think mandarin is the main one from memory. So it smells to me like citrus and incense at the same time, and vanilla. So it's almost like citruses and vanilla incense together. Musky. There is an ambergris note listed. I don't get anything nasty like ambroxan or any of those nasty aroma chemicals that I don't get on with. So how they achieve the ambergris, I don't know. If it's real, maybe, I'm not sure, but I don't feel like it's coming from ambroxan. If it is, it's dosed at a nice amount that I'm not picking up on, which is fab. And this one gets kind of richer. The vanilla really comes out into the dry down, and I start to get that animalic tone, which is, I don't know what could be causing it, but to me it doesn't smell exactly like civet or something like that. It's almost more like just a slightly dirty pillow, shall we say, that sort of thing, and maybe mixed with some suede. Now imagine a suede pillow and someone's been sleeping on it for at least a week, and they probably haven't washed their hair every day, something like that. But it's really interesting, really, despite being basically a floral gourmand, it's definitely got some touches of more interest from the slightly dirtiness, from the incense, from that suede-like feel. I'm still not sure how the performance is on this one. I don't think it's the best. I seem to have had different experiences with it. I remember once having quite good longevity, and then other times thinking 4 or 5 hours in, can I even still smell it? So I'm finding the longevity quite interchangeable. So I'm not going to tell you that it's good or it's bad, because honestly I'm not sure about it. I know Jimbo has this one, DC Jim R, who comments often on my videos, bless him, thank you Jim, and he has this, and he says the like, Aniela's having a moment, he says the performance isn't that great from memory, so, but still a beautiful fragrance. Next one then is Tiger from Francesca Bianchi. This is number 3. Tiger has peach in it, and suede and vanilla. white floral accord. I think there's some tuberose, probably some jasmine. It is suede-like, sweet, slightly animalic. There is an oud note, I don't pick up on it. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Definitely a white floral bouquet, very powdery though, irisy, but not as, it's not really heavy on the iris. Iris almost brings a powder without the typical sort of iris, almost violet-y tones. You don't really get that. It's powdery, suede-like iris, I guess. And it's, yes, super fluffy. So it feels kind of musky because of the texture. The texture's velvety, suedey, fluffy, pillowy. To me, Tiger's like my very favourite parts of most of Francesca's fragrances, all pushed together into this big fluffy ball of immenseness. So yeah, white florals, sweet, vanillic, powdery, iris, slight animalic tone. Really addictive to me, beautiful and strong and long lasting. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'd love it if you'd like the video, and even better if you're not subscribed, if you can subscribe. And finally, I'd like to say thank you to two very kind people that have bought me a coffee on my coffee account by I can't remember what it's called, Ko-fi something. It's linked in the description below. So thank you so much to you, very, very kind people. I'm not sure if you want me to shout you out or not, so I haven't, but thank you so much. And if you'd like to do the same, you can do so. It's all linked in the description box below.